This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Hidilyn Diaz joins UP College of Human Kinetics in 2026. Sumo Power storms London, marking a return 34 years in the making. Magnus Carlsen and FIDE shake hands on a new era. The Total Chess World Championship Tour is here. Mercedes makes it official. Russell and Kimi Antonelli will drive into Formula One's new era together in 2026. 19-year-old Filipino prodigy AJ Manas ready to shine in the Reyes Cup. In Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays unleash home run fury. Toronto destroys Mariners 13-4 to cut ALCS deficit in half. Meanwhile, an NBA shocker, Malcolm Brogdon, calls it a career just 1 month after signing with the Knicks. And Sheila Salaysay reports on the brewing officiating row in men's UAAP basketball. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 16th of October. Now, here's our roundup. The country's first ever Olympic gold medalist, Hidilyn Diaz is taking her passion for sports to the classroom. Starting January 2026, Hidilyn will officially teach at the University of the Philippines Diliman College of Human Kinetics. In a post by longtime manager Noel Ferrer, it was revealed that Hidilyn met up with UP CHK officials led by Dean Dr. Marla Frances Malyari to discuss her course and new initiatives to promote weightlifting in collegiate sports. Ferrer shared that this new role is Hidilyn's way of paying it forward, guiding the next generation of Filipino athletes through discipline, hard work, and heart. She also shared that she's looking forward to learning new sports like pickleball from her students and co-faculty members. And even as she enters this new chapter, Hidilyn continues to shape young athletes through the Hidilyn Diaz Weightlifting Academy, proving that her legacy goes beyond the platform. The Royal Albert Hall erupted as Japan's elite sumo wrestlers thundered their way through the opening night of a historic 5-day exhibition tournament. From dramatic entrances to the roaring bouts, London fans got a front row seat to pure sumo intensity for the first time in over 3 decades. Grand champions Hoshoryu and Onosato closed the show in dominant fashion, capping a night that blended tradition, power, and spectacle like only sumo can. After years of disagreement, world number 1 Magnus Carlsen and the International Chess Federation finally see eye to eye, backing a revolutionary new format that could bring the Norwegian star back into the title scene. Unveiled by the Norway Chess Foundation, the Total Chess World Championship Tour will feature 4 events a year, combining 3 disciplines: Fast Classic, Rapid, and Blitz, to crown one ultimate champion. Carlsen, who stepped away from defending his world title in 2023 due to a lack of motivation, praised the new system as a well-thought-out step to further develop chess, adding that the mix of formats better fits today's players and audience. FIDE President Arkady Vorkovich called the initiative a great addition to the existing World Championship, saying both competitions will complement each other, the new tour celebrating all-around mastery, while the classic title remains the crown of traditional chess. A pilot season is slated for autumn 2026, with the first full tour officially kicking off in 2027. Chess is evolving, and Magnus Carlsen is back in the game. In Formula One, after months of waiting, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff finally confirmed the lineup, saying it was always a matter of when and not if. Wolff shared that negotiations took time to ensure everyone was happy, adding that George and Kimi have proven to be a strong duo and that the team is ready to focus on the final 6 races of the season as they fight for second in the constructors' standings and prepare for the new era of Formula One. No contract details were revealed and the announcement only mentioned 2026. But speculation continues that Mercedes could make a move for Max Verstappen in 2027 and beyond. Next year marks a major shift in Formula One, with a new engine cycle that could shake up the grid. And Mercedes, who dominated the last big change in 2014, is expected to come out strong. George Russell, a five-time Grand Prix winner, including his most recent victory in Singapore, will enter his fifth season with Mercedes and his eighth in Formula One. Meanwhile, 19-year-old Italian rookie Kimi Antonelli is already making waves, earning his first podium in Canada and gaining valuable experience in his debut year. As the grid heads into the U.S. Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, Mercedes sits second in the constructors' standings, with Mercedes-powered McLaren already crowned champions for the second straight year. The Silver Arrows are locked in, the future is set, and the countdown to 2026 is on. AJ Manas, just 19 years old and already living the dream. The Filipino Q sensation is set to compete alongside legends in the second edition of the Reyes Cup, named after the greatest Q artist of all time, Efren Bata Reyes. The teen phenom joins Team Asia with two-time world champion Carlo Biado, UK Open winner Aloysius Yap, Vietnamese star Dong Kyuk Hwang, and former Hanoi Open titleist Johan Chua. Despite the pressure of playing on home soil, Manas is embracing the moment. Team captain and legend Francisco Django Bustamante personally handpicked Manas. Manas promised to give his all against Team Rest of the World, led by Fedor Gorst, Jason Shaw, and Captain Jeremy Jones. With confidence, humility, and the support of legends behind him, AJ Manas is ready to take his mark on the global stage. The Reyes Cup happens October 16 to 19 at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium in Manila. In Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays erupted in Game 3 of the American League Championship Series, blasting 5 homers to demolish the Seattle Mariners 13-4 and trim the series to 2-1. Andres Jimenez, George Springer, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Alejandro Kirk, and Addison Barger all went yard as Toronto's lineup exploded for 12 unanswered runs after trailing early 2-0. Shane Bieber delivered a strong outing, striking out 8 over 6 innings after a shaky first, while Mariners starter George Kirby struggled and was tagged for 8 runs. Julio Rodriguez gave Seattle life with a 2-run homer in the first, but the Blue Jays bats couldn't be stopped, capping their dominant night with Barger's solo shot in the 9th. Game 4 is set in Seattle, and Toronto looks to keep the momentum, determined to even the series. Veteran guard Malcolm Brogdon has officially announced his retirement from the NBA, ending a 9-year career filled with class, consistency, and accolades. Brogdon made the announcement just a month, or a little bit over a month, after inking a 1-year, $3.3 million deal with the New York Knicks. Brogdon expressed gratitude for the game that defined his life, saying he has proudly given his mind, body, and spirit to the game. A former Rookie of the Year and 6th Man of the Year, Brogdon leaves behind career averages of 15.3 points, 4.7 assists, and 4.1 rebounds over 463 games with the Bucks, Pacers, Celtics, Blazers, and Wizards. Knicks fans and teammates wished him well online, hailing him as one of the game's most respected professionals. And here's your daily dose of sports lingo. What does feathering mean in rowing? Feathering is the technique of slightly rotating the paddle during the recovery phase to reduce wind resistance. This motion turns the blade horizontally just above the water surface, making each stroke smoother and more efficient. Rowers master this skill to maintain speed, conserve energy, and keep the boat balanced even in strong winds. In elite rowing, perfect feathering can be the difference between victory and second place. Now it's time for our off-court buzzer. Federación Internacional de Football Association, or FIFA, is keeping its focus on security and preparation after U.S. President Donald Trump suggested some matches could be moved from certain cities for safety reasons.
FIFA is very hot. If we think there's any reason that, whether it's Boston or anywhere else, that they're not doing their job, we're going to take those World Cup games and move them someplace else.
In a statement, FIFA said it hopes all 16 host cities will be ready to stage games at the 2026 World Cup, adding that safety and security are top priorities at all FIFA events worldwide. However, the organization noted that security decisions ultimately rest with governments. The 2026 World Cup, co-hosted by the United States, Mexico, and Canada, will feature 48 teams with 11 U.S. cities, including Los Angeles, Boston, Seattle, and San Francisco, set to stage the majority of matches on June 11 to July 19. FIFA insists it is working closely with all local authorities to ensure that every venue meets the highest standards of safety and readiness as the world counts down to the biggest World Cup in history. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 16th of October. Welcome back to the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. The Mariners are 2 wins away from the promised land. And tonight, the city of Seattle stands at the edge of history. Game 4, ALCS, everything feels louder, brighter, and heavier. Max Scherzer, the 41-year-old Cy Young legend, back in the fire for Toronto. Now, he's been here before. He's felt the bright lights and the big stakes. But across the mound, Luis Castillo, La Piedra, the Rock of Seattle. The crowd loves him. The city trusts him. And after a 13-4 loss last night, he's the reset button the Mariners need. The Blue Jays broke loose in Game 3. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and George Springer, 5 homers, 18 hits, pure carnage. That was Toronto saying, we're not dead yet. After going silent in Games 1 and 2, they hit back with every ounce of firepower that they had. But this Mariners team, they've been here all season. They get punched and they push back harder. Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, Jorge Polanco, 3 guys who turn every at-bat into a chance to tie the game. Now, Toronto, they've been red hot lately. Winners in 7 of their last 10. 301 batting average in that stretch, and they've outscored opponents by 30. But Seattle's been unbreakable at home, 51-30 at T-Mobile Park. And you can feel that energy through the screen. This crowd isn't just watching, they're living every pitch. Now remember, this is the Mariners' first ALCS home run in over 2 decades. They're 3rd in the league in homers. And if you give Julio one fastball too many, you'll hear it land somewhere in the sound. But the biggest factor is health. No Bo Bichette. Jose Berrios still on the injured list. Toronto's depth is tested. Their margin for error is gone. And every pitch Scherzer throws matters. Every out is a climb. So here we go. Game 4, the Blue Jays trying to even the series. The Mariners trying to grab the dagger and head home up 3-1. It's Castillo's moment to own. And for Scherzer, maybe his last shot to remind baseball who he is. T-Mobile Park, Friday morning baseball. It's Seattle City, Toronto's challenge, and baseball's biggest stage. The Mariners aren't just playing for wins, they're playing for belief. They're playing for the generation that's been waiting since 2001. And tonight, every pitch feels like a piece of that story. And that's a wrap for our ALCS Game 4 preview. Seattle's chasing destiny, Toronto's fighting for survival. The pressure's real, the crowd's ready. So tune in, lock in, and as always, keep your eyes on the prize. Before we go, think on this. From a former UST Golden Spiker who won the championships in 1999, 2001, and 2003, who also served as team captain for the Philippine Army Troopers, Coach Emilio Kung Fu Reyes once said, "Huwag kayong magduda sa sarili nyo. Kung magkakamali ka, magkamali ka. Pero kailangan buo ang dibdib." Shout out to Coach Kung Fu Reyes. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.